Okay, so we had a client call the other day, remember? Right? And I remember the one thing that stuck out to me is that she said she had very little money saved, but that she had a house, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. His computer started going, y'all, and it just totally distracted me from my little story.
Because you took my line.
No. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Because I think, look, she had a little bit of equity in the house. She had a little bit of equity, right?
Yeah. I remember because she seemed so defeated, and with what was going on in the US, right? So now, and Mellon Felon once again stirring up shit and violence against Black folks. You just can't leave us alone.
I'm not sure how we got from ultra MAGA to let's go ahead and blame the people at the HBCUs and put out bomb threats on the HBCUs. Y'all, you cannot make this stuff up, right?
So with the increased violence,
I'm gonna go ahead because with the increased violence, right, and the weakening of the dollar and the weakening of the U.S. dollar, that means your future rent, your future groceries, your future health care has just gone up. It has just gone up by anywhere from 10 to 20%, y'all. All right. And so going overseas has just become more expensive.
Yeah. You know that we've been talking about what we're going to do about this weak dollar.
We've been talking about that a lot. I mean, we've been talking about, do we want to do currency trading?
We're studying it.
Yeah, we are.
What can be done.
Because the bottom line is the people who are the oligarchs, the billionaires and stuff, they're not worried. We were just talking about that. Look, if you're not a member, why not? We were just talking about that in the behind the scenes before, right? The people who are billionaires and stuff like that, they are not worried about this. They're not worried about it. But you should be. We are, because having a net worth of over $1 million, that ain't nothing.
Not anymore.
That ain't nothing, right? All right. So one of my favorite podcasters, that is the Diary of the CEO, has been talking about this, has been talking about building resilience, has been talking about the fact that we are coming upon dark times much faster than we thought. All right. Much faster.
Yeah. And we're going to continue the conversation for our community.
That's right. That's right. And so if you want to link to the Diary of the CEO's podcast, it is in the description below. All right. But first, hey, y'all, my name is Halisi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia.
On our channel, we talk about money, we talk about travel and life abroad. We help folks who look like us, who are getting close to retirement age, get their money straight so that they can retire on time, or maybe even
early and abroad.
Okay, early. I'm going to say early. All right, sweetheart, what are we talking about today?
So today we're talking about before your dollar buys less. Move abroad and plan.
Yep. All right. All right. And so we're going to talk about price life. You need to start pricing your life in the local currency. Okay. That's what you need to do. And that's what we do. That's what we do. Right. So number one, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about 2 scenarios if you own a home, 2 scenarios for you to think about and see which would be best for you. And then thirdly,
long stay, landing options, plus real budgets.
And we got some handouts for you. That is also in the description below under resources, the weekly resources. Okay. So we've got the permanent resources, and then up top, we've got the weekly resources. You know what? I'm not sure if I put it in the description below. It will if you're watching from the future. It's probably already there. Hey, let us know where you're logging into, and let us know if you are feeling the pinch of a dollar that is weakening. Okay, how are you going to feel it if you still live at home? You're going to feel it because the things that are imported are more expensive. That's how you're going to feel it. So you've got two things going on if you live in America. One, you've got the tariffs. You're paying for that. And then two, your dollar doesn't even pay for as much tariffs as it did 6 months ago, as it did 7 months ago. So for instance, the conversion rate right now is 17% on the euro, y'all. 17%. So if we were transferring money every single month, we would have just gotten an unplanned 17% increase in our rent. So this is what we want to know. If you're watching from the future, if you're watching now, let us know in the chat. What's your primary source of income abroad going to be? And if you're already abroad, let us know that too. Is it Social Security?
Pension?
Side hustle work?
Remote work?
Right? Let us know. Let us know. All right. Segment 1. Here we go. Price life in local currency. And then we will say hello to the folks who are in the chat. Look, y'all. You might not know. I'm not sure if you know. Back in 2018, if you're new to our channel, back in 2018, Rick and I got a wake-up call. We were looking on our money and it looked crazy.
Crazy.
But we got our financial act together and we went from negative 22,000 to over 1.1 million in net worth. Y'all, we can do it. You can do it too. You really can. You really can. All right. And so if any of that sounds interesting to you, please subscribe. We are trying to get to 100,000. It is more important now than ever. That I know it doesn't look as crazy when you're on the inside looking in, but from the outside looking in, it looks crazy, y'all. It looks crazy. And this is what we know. We know that they are trying to cancel people who are telling the truth. They're trying to cancel people that are trying to help people survive this administration. They don't want you leaving. They don't want you being financially secure. What they want you is desperate so that they can re-enslave. There is no other explanation for the bullshit that's going on right now than that. All right. So if that is the case, this needs to get out to more of our community. Right? This information needs to get out. We need you to share it. We need you to like it and let YouTube know that this needs to be shared. And subscribe. All right. If your life is going to be in euros, in pesos, in rubles, in rand, or whatever, right? A weaker USD is a stealth rent increase. All right. So what you need to do is you need to stop budgeting in dollars only. You need to think in dollars because that's what you're earning right now. But build the master budget in the local currencies if you're considering more than one place. All right. Then stress test that by increasing the conversion rate or lessening, depending upon how you want to look at it, by 10% and then by 20%. Okay. So you're going to have 3 columns. You're going to have actual. And then you're going to say, okay, what would it look like with 10%? And you can just put I should probably build that. You can probably just put, no, I know you can. You can just put a calculation in your spreadsheet and it'll automatically do that. And as the conversion rate changes, it'll automatically convert that for you. This is what you need to do. All right. So you can download all of the help that we have. As we said before, is in the description below. So the first thing is that you are going to start budgeting in the local currency, right? Mm-hmm. So why is this so important?
You know, it's where you're going to be. That's where you're going to be. You have to work with the budget in the currency that you're working with, where you're going to be.
And people get tripped up.
Yeah.
People get tripped up and make assumptions, right? Because I remember when we were first looking at Mexico, it was 20 pesos to the dollar. About a year ago, it had gone down to like 15 pesos to the dollar, right? And for South Africa, it was just the opposite. When we were there in 2008, 2009, it was about 8 to 9 rand to the dollar.
Right.
The last time we were there, it was about 17 to 19 rand to the dollar. That's not good for South Africa. That was great for us, but that's not good for South Africa. Okay. So these are the things that you need to think about, and you need to start thinking about them now, today. Okay. Today. When we started looking at Europe, it was basically one-on-one, maybe a 2% difference today,
slight difference.
Then gain 3% next week, and then down 1% the week after that. It was always about the same. So we did not, when we first moved, we did not have to do separate budgets because the difference in the currency was so slight and sometimes was in our favor. Okay. All right. Let's see what you all are talking about. All I know is I don't know about you, but I'm enjoying having conversations with the Utopian members. Are you?
Yeah.
On Thursday, every other Thursday, we're talking to the Utopian legends on air.
Yeah.
On air, so that they can discuss and ask questions about the current events and what's happening abroad, et cetera, in real time. And then we meet with all of the members who are available right before we go live for about an hour, y'all. And we hang out while we're getting ready and we chitty chat. Thank you, Mortis. How are you?
Hey,
Americans' golden handcuffs. Look, y'all. The golden handcuffs are real. They are real. And if you get caught up, it is a mental thing. And I don't know, for those of you who were listening to Rashida earlier, it is a mental thing that you need to divorce yourself of. We talked about this last week. When is enough enough, right? If money is your issue, if money is the thing that is keeping you, then we're going to talk about that, especially if you own a home. But Exodus Summit, if you're a Black woman, Exodus Summit is all about move abroad money again this year, making that money in unusual ways that have no borders. All right. So that click is in the description below. If you've never heard of Exodus Summit, don't worry about it. Just look in the description below and you can click that button and buy it today because it's cheap today. All right. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it because the money, y'all, the money is, it's not getting any better. It's not getting any better, right? ABX girl. We've got Farida's Beautiful Life. How are you doing,
How
Paula? Bye, Pacific Northwest.
Hey,
Hey,
Karen
Karen
Louise.
Louise. Blessings to you too. CK is in the house. Paula Washington. Jametta.
Jametta.
We just saw Dr. Sanji. We just saw, and she was schooling us about the situation with the education system in Florida. Y'all.
Hey.
Here's the thing. There is learning that is going on before the learning is going on. And we are crowdsourcing the learning, right? Because we know everybody who is watching our Black Utopia is brilliant. That's what we do know. Hey, James Greer, good to see you. Travel Near Far is in the house. Allison is in the house. P, good to see you. Cheryl, good to see you. My Community Resource, House and Garden. I love that name.
Meriton Martin.
This is Shirley, not Shirley. Okay, Shirley. Thank you, Action VJ. Thank you. As he says, like, and become a channel member. Y'all, I don't know what's going on. I do not know what's going on. I just know what the writing on the wall says. And the writing on the wall says is that we are going to have to depend upon community more than ever as we move forward. We are going to have to depend on people who understand the shared struggle, right? And who have the same values. No joke. Hey, LaRon. Glad you showed up. Good chatting with you earlier. Tana Rose is in the house. We got Yakota, Killer Queen.
Hey, Yakota, Killer Queen.
Alt Sweet Tea, Lewis Bailey is in the house. We've got Vanessa and Tiana, Annie, and Amola, Wanda. I know I pronounced this right. Amolia. What? I'm sorry, sweetheart. I am not trying to mess up your name, because when people mess up my name, look, it's on and popping. It is on and popping, right, Stephanie? And Parasini is in the house. Paula Washington, Pearl Girl, Kelvin
Hey,
Alexander. Thank y'all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's keep going, because a lot of us bought a house because we were told that's the best investment, right?
Mhm.
A lot of us bought a house because we were told that renting is a waste of money. I don't know how paying for a place to live is a waste of money. But when you have a community and a population that were not given access, right, to the same opportunities to buy real estate, when all of the other poor folks in America were able to get those FHA loans, right, were able to take advantage of the veteran loans and things like that, when we were not, then I understand why a lot of our parents and grandparents said that kind of stuff to us. But it's not necessarily true. We can't make those blanket statements. All right. So, two scenarios. If your home in the United States is in a tight, job dense, supply constrained city, the kind that is historically rides out the downturns, right? The New Yorks of the world, the LAs, the Chicagos, et cetera, consider holding the house and renting it out, right? You're buying optionality, right? So domestic credit history, hedge against a stronger USD later, and then that will give you that monthly cash stream. Because what we are trying to do is we're trying to get you out of Dodge as soon as possible. The assumption is you ain't got no money saved, but you do have this home. You do have this home. And so if we can get you out of Dodge and you're still bringing in money, that's the other thing. And you're still bringing in money, and we can get you to a lower cost of living, then you can start building up the wealth to move wherever you want to move, or to just bop around. Because even with healthcare costs, even with no insurance, you're going to be better off outside of the United States, y'all. I'm trying to tell you. My copay the other day was 16 euro and 10 cents. Right? And I got 30 minutes uninterrupted with the doctor. Y'all, there is a better way. All right. So, a monthly cash stream that funds the tactics. All right. So push midterm 30 to 90 days or 12-month leases when you get out of Dodge. All right. We are going to list places that have a minimum of 90 days on a tourist visa, 6 months, even a year. Now, all of these places are not going to be like, ooh, that's where I want to go. But I bet you they're safer than the United States. They're not going to be targeting you to get back on them plantations like they're going to do in the United States, right? And it will give you an opportunity to open a bank account and things like that in other places where you can start moving your money out of the dollar and start, what do you call it? What do you call it, y'all? When you have, diversify. Right? And diversify your assets. All right. So what is the target monthly rent?
Target monthly PITI plus 400 to 800 a month.
Yeah. 400 to 800 a month. All right.
Yeah. So recast if your lender allows lower rent payments.
Yeah.
But keep paying the old amount to finish faster.
Yeah, so that's if you're going to try to pay off the house. And I'm not, look, we were talking about this in Beyond the Bling. That's our financial freedom program yesterday about paying off the house. And it depends. It depends on what your financial situation is, right? So the goal, if you're going to lease it out, the goal is to generate $400 to $800 a month from the rent, right? And then you're going to fiddle with that if you can get your lender to lower payment. This is probably not going to happen today, but this time next year, because with these lower job numbers, the Fed might be compelled to lower interest rates. All right. You're going to keep 3 to 6 months of expenses in the local currency, plus an emergency fund in the United States. All right. And this is what you're going to be working on right now. This is what you're going to be working on as you are cutting. Babies, we're going to have to buckle down. We are going to have to buckle down. We're going to buckle down. I'm not saying like we sacrificed. We did sacrifice. I am glad that we're not having to sacrifice under this climate, because it is going to be a little bit rougher. Stuff's more expensive, and I haven't seen that incomes have gone up at the same rate.
No.
Right? And so, yeah, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. They're not going to bring these prices down anytime soon. They're not. But if you are bringing in more money, then you need to give a job to that income, right? We talked about Exodus Summit. We will be launching another side hustle challenge. If you just finished the side hustle challenge, let them know what you thought of it in the chat. This is a way to save up that emergency fund and to get 3 to 6 months of expenses. Okay. We want you out as soon as possible, because I have a feeling he gonna stop letting people go. What you think?
He's gonna make it very difficult for you, though.
Right. Right.
So renting isn't wasting money.
That's right.
You know, abroad, you'll rent by design. For flexibility, your cash flowing U.S. assets pays the bills.
That's right. That's right. Right. And so we rent here because when we looked at what we would have to pay, even for a reduced mortgage, because we could put down a big down payment on an apartment here, when we looked at how much we would have to pay per month over the next 3 to 5 years, we would pay less renting. And we cannot guarantee you that we're even going to be here 5 years from now.
No.
The geopolitical world is changing, y'all. It is changing. And so when we start to talk about these places that you can live in, I want you to think about it with a very open mind, understanding that this is not necessarily your forever place, but we're giving you examples. We're giving you examples of places that you can go right off the bat with an easy tourist visa as an American, as a person from the UK, as a person from Australia, an easy visa, tourist visa, right? Basically upon arrival, with a very generous tourist, length, where you can, rent an apartment for 3 to 6 months, maybe even a year, and pay a lot less. All right. So scenario B. So scenario A is you've got a house in a prime market, an LA, a New York, a Bay Area, right? A Chicago. You've got to, so that's scenario one, where you might think about keeping and renting, right? Scenario B.
Scenario B is selling the house and redeploying second tier or shrinking markets.
Yeah. So if your home is in a second tier market like Denver. And you are seeing a slowdown in the migration to your state, the migration to your city, a slowdown in economic growth, weakening affordability or employment, right? Maybe there's some concentration risk. Maybe there's only 1 to 2 industries, right? That could be risky. Mm-hmm. Consider selling. Consider selling and redeploying that money to make money for you in a different way, right? And we understand that there's like a pride and ownership thing that we Americans have.
Yeah.
Get over it.
Yeah.
Get over it, right? Because it's not that deep. It's just a tool. It's an asset, right? And so
you want to lock 12 to 18 months of expenses in multi-currency buckets.
Yeah. So for instance, like I would consider putting money in a Wise account. I think we will have a link in the description below. So it used to be called TransferWise about 4 years ago, right? It's been Wise for quite a while now. And they will allow you to have different currencies in one account. And so that way, why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Because let's just take euros, for example, since that's what we pay our bills in. If we've got 10,000, let's just say 10,000 euros sitting in our Wise account, it doesn't really matter what the dollar does.
No.
The 10,000 euros are 10,000 euros. And when we transfer it, it's going to be 10,000 euros less fees, right? But if we have $10,000 sitting in a Wise account, but we pay our bills in euros, and all of a sudden the melon felon does another thing that's stupid.
Now it makes a big difference.
Right?
You lose a lot of value in your money.
Exactly. Right. And so instead of losing 15%, we might lose 20%. And so that's why it might make sense for you to hold money in a multi-currency account. I have been stressing over this conversion rate, y'all, for a minute. And I figured some things out. And the more we figure out, the more we will tell you. Because, you know, if you're moving to a place where the dollar is stronger than the local currency, then obviously that's going to make it easier. Either way, if you're in a lower cost of living, it still is going to make it easier. All right. So you want to fund a portable income stack. What does that mean? Side hustle.
Cool.
If money is an issue, right?
Yeah.
Can you create a course? What do you know?
Can you consult?
You can do consulting. Most of the people who are watching are over 45. And that means you know some things, right? As we get older, we know some things. That's some things that you can teach other people. And people are going to want shortcuts. So what courses? You said consulting.
Tutoring.
Right.
Teaching online.
Right. There are so many things. As a matter of fact, we have done at least 3 to 4 to 5 side hustle videos. The last one I think is one of our best. I will put that in the description below as well. Side hustle. I'll write myself a note. So I'll put that in the description below after we're finished. But yeah, it is so easy to make money. It is so easy to make money. And I want you to say that to yourself. I want you to look yourself in the mirror every single day and say that. It is so easy to make money. Money comes to me. It just flows to me. Some of this really is a shift in mindset, okay? Because we've had this notion that, oh, I'm gonna start a business. Oh, I got to get an LLC. No, right? That's very last century thinking. Okay. Very last century thinking. As we said, you can create a course. You can create a book. You have access because of the internet to the world. You can market to the world. You've got friends on Facebook, right? All of these people, there are people in your Facebook group who would be willing to pay you to teach them something. So teach it.
And you'd be really, really surprised of how many people out there that do create content are looking for people to edit that material for them.
That part too. Yeah. So if you are good at editing, whether it's video or words, there's so many ways to make money, y'all. And again, if you are a Black woman and you are looking for extra ways to make money, Exodus Summit is in October. I believe it's the second week in October. It's 3 days. I go every single year. And we are here in Lisbon, Portugal, partly because of Exodus Summit and what I learned in Exodus Summit that got us out of Dodge in 6 months? Because we were like, oh, it was a pipe dream. And then I came to him with the numbers. Remember that?
Yeah.
He was so skeptical. He was like, look, we just going to have to buckle down. You know, we do. And we just going to have to dig deep. And we're going to have to work for another. Remember that conversation?
Yeah.
And then I showed you the numbers.
I keep trying to forget it.
And then I showed him the numbers. And he was like, oh, wait a minute. We could do this.
Yeah.
We could do this. There's something behind us buzzing, y'all. There's an insect in here buzzing. I don't know. It came in through the window, so forgive me. But anyway, so optionally, you want to diversify into non-correlated assets. And this is how I kind of look at it, right? When we talk about a diversity in assets, we're not just talking about a diversity in stock. That too, that too, but also diversity in currency, diversity in the types of investments. And in a normal world, and I have to preface it this way, y'all, because things are changing so quickly. And what we knew to be true even 7 months ago is not necessarily the case today.
Not that way anymore.
But in a normal world, what I would do is when the stock market is rallying and what they call it a bull market, right? And the stock is going up, 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 up. That's when I'd start looking at real estate, and vice versa. And vice versa. When it is a seller's market, no, buyer's market, right? And real estate is kind of leveling out and it's not going up, 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 up. I would put more money into the stock market. Does that make sense? Yeah, you can add gold into the gold and silver and those kind of precious metals into that and other kind of assets into the rotation. But you see what I'm saying? You always want to be getting the biggest bang for the buck. You always want to be trying to buy things under market value. When it comes to investing, does that mean we try to time the market? No, babies. We not trading that, all that work. That sounds like work. I ain't working that hard. Are you working that? I'm not working that hard. I'm not working that hard. I am not. So we're not talking about trading. What we are talking about is long-term investing. And so with that, we are looking at investing, as we keep saying, outside of the United States. At this point, we still invest in just in the United States, but we have started to invest in ETFs and companies that are part of the global South, where the companies are part of the global South, because we see the writing on the wall and we want to tell you the writing is on the wall. Okay. I know that this sounds, we're going to get to your questions now. You guys know the drill. If you have a question, go ahead and put a Q in front of it and let's see what you guys are talking about. I know that this all sounds political, and that is because it is. It is, sweethearts. I don't do politics. Well, politics is going to do you. And what do we mean by that? Every single thing that we talked about is the way it is because of politics.
Yeah, just like she said, you don't do politics, but definitely politics is going to do you.
The food that you get to eat is politics. The medicines you get to take, right? Right now, they are rationing COVID booster shots in the United States because y'all got this effed up head of health and human resources, right? The medicine you get to take, the shoes you get to wear, the clothes that you get to wear, that's politics.
If your meat is good and inspected, that's politics.
Whether the things that you are putting on your hair, on our hair, has chemicals in it that can kill us, that's politics. How much money we get paid, everything is politics. Everything. Even love, who you get to love and legally love is politics. All right. And so we cannot get away from it. We cannot not pay attention to it. There is nowhere to go to hide from it. And your well-being is dependent upon it. Right. And it is dependent upon you being aware of what the implications are so that you can be prepared. All super thanks, super chat, and super sticker money goes to our scholarship fund for Beyond the Bling. That is our financial freedom program for late bloomers like Rick and myself. We have given away about 12 scholarships, y'all, over the past 30 days. And we had new people in the group coaching yesterday, which was great. Beyond the Blink comes with group coaching every single second Saturday of the month. And so you all will get grandfathered in as we start changing things. Okay, there doesn't seem to be a lot of questions. Y'all ain't got questions? Can we ask if there are going to be any updates for Rick's birthday celebration on the app? It's getting close. We're talking about getting out of Dodge, and y'all talk about potty. Where's the potty? So we are actually negotiating right now with the spot. Okay. And so it is going to be, if we do something on the 26th, we'll let you guys know. But no, there is no new news. I'm trying to figure out on that app how I send out information to you guys. I know that there is a way. I will just update when we get the location and we actually sign the contract with the place that we're going to have the spot, the thing with. Then I will put that in the app, and then we'll announce it live and everything too, as well as Angela and Lamar. They will be announcing it as well. And so, yeah. It is going to be on the 27th in Querétaro, Mexico. So if y'all want to come join us, hang out, and celebrate Rick's 70th birthday with us, it would be great. So we're going to be there on the 27th. We've been telling you guys about this since like February or March. And so, yeah, so we're doing it. We're doing it. And we'll make sure everybody knows. It will be in the app. Don't worry. You won't like be in Mexico talking about where is everybody. We don't roll like that. All right. All right. So Allison says, okay, what is that? Oh, there it is. That is it's a huge bug on our dream light back there, y'all. All right. Utah, they want to black us for all that mess. They need to take accountability. I'm assuming you're talking about the Kirk dude, who unfortunately got to experience what he had been preaching. The only thing that I know, like, obviously, it's never good when people are murder is never a good thing. It is never a good thing.
No, it's not.
Even when it is a murder of your enemy. And Charlie Kirk definitely was my enemy because he decided that I was his. So, okay, good. Gotcha. But it's interesting to me the way, see, y'all, you got to know history. You got to know history. It was one warehouse fire that Hitler used as an excuse to do what he wanted to do. Was this the thing? Is this the thing that he's going to use as an excuse? Because see, I'm just waiting for the thing that's going to say, okay, we're canceling the elections in 2026. That's the deadline, y'all. 2026 is the deadline. Elections 2026. Rick told me he wanted to be out before the next election. That was in 2022. I am hoping and praying that I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. I want us to have elections in 2026. But that is your deadline to get out of Dodge. That is your deadline. And to get friends and family out of Dodge, or to create a pipeline. I'm just saying, because these folks are tripping. Thank you, Josette. Thank you. As we said, every single penny goes to our scholarship fund for Beyond the Bling. We are helping folks become financially free, understand how their money works, right? And get out from that rat race, that burden, that matrix, right? And we've got a new member.
Hey, Sharon, welcome.
Yay. Welcome. Okay, so you want to check on YouTube the posts, okay? So we have members only posts that will give you links. I can't tell what level you joined at, so, and that's fine. So you'll get links to backstage if you are a legend, and you will get links. All members get links to behind the scenes that we put out, and of course all of the other posts and things like that. So those who are members got to see the celebration that we did here in Lisbon for Rick's birthday with our Portugal
did you
family. I posted some of the pictures for members only. Yeah. So okay, you guys talking about anything else? Is that it? Let me see, because we will keep it moving. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Hey, Rapper MD in Panama, where they use the USD. Yes, side hustle cut to a minimum because I am resting. I'm not mad at you.
Ain't mad at all.
Right? I am not mad at you. Desperate people are dangerous people. They are. And here's the thing, folks. When people feel like they are not sure how they're going to feed their kids, right? Much less themselves, and they don't have the mental capacity to figure it out. It's funny because Charlie Kirk was saying what Ketanji Brown didn't have the mental capacity, right? Michelle Obama didn't have the mental capacity, but it's really they don't have the mental capacity, right? That's why, even per capita, there's more of them on, safety net, welfare, food stamps, and all that. It's more of them on that. We know that. We've always known that. They just didn't know that. And so as these things are being cut, they're going to be more desperate. We've already been there, because Big Mama and them, even if we qualified for welfare, Big Mama and them, I ain't getting on no welfare. Pride, right? So we know how to stretch the dollar. We know how to make ends meet when it's looking crazy. I'm not so sure that they do. All right. Pesos and euros is what we're looking at. All right. Okay, Double T, tell me more. Double T says it looks crazy looking from the inside in as well. What are you guys feeling? Do you have a sense of urgency? Do you have a sense of dread? Angst? Excuse me, angst? What's going on? How are you feeling? Pension, Social Security, and 2 side hustles. Okay, Sharon's getting out of Dodge. Are you already out of Dodge, Sharon? Are you already out of Dodge? That's what I'm talking about, Wanda, right? That is what I'm talking about. All right, hit that like button. Okay, we're going to keep going. We are going to keep going. Let's see, make sure that you all don't have more questions. Drop them in the chat. Put a Q in front of it. LaRonda says Big Mama don't want the government all up in her business, nope. Right? We have been here before. For those of us of a certain age, we understand. But I think some of these people are going to get a wake-up call, especially our younger people in our community, because we did not harden and toughen them up the way our parents hardened and toughened us up, the way grandmama and them hardened and toughened us up. They're a little soft. They're a little soft, ain't they?
They're very soft.
They're a little soft. So we're going to have to do extra. I'm sorry, but this is, because 78 million people, they wanted to eat their racism as opposed to having bread and meat in their pot, right? That's what they wanted to do. And so, unfortunately, we have to suffer the consequences. And Wanda says she's going to be in Thailand in November and Mexico in January.
Wow, cool.
Yeah. Especially if you're going to be in the southern part of Mexico. After our one-on-one, I sold my Range Rover and have been canceling debt. By December, I'll have $40,000 paid off. Thank you. You're amazing. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Sharon. I'm going to give another shout out. I'm not going to say their names, but they're in our Beyond the Bling course. And I just found out yesterday that I think in a week or so, they will be debt free. We talked to them 6 months ago. And when we ran the numbers with them, we told them you can be debt free in 6 months. And they're like, no. And we said, yes. And we showed them. And they're about to be debt free in another week or two, y'all. All right. If you need one-on-one help, that information is in the description below. You know, we can't give everybody scenarios because everybody's different, right? And just because if we give numbers out here and you're like, oh man, well, I ain't got 10,000, well, I ain't got 20,000. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. We will deal with you where you are and figure out how we can make this thing work, how you can make this work.
We're not saying that you have to have that.
No, we're not. Obviously it helps. The more money you have helps, obviously. But you do not need to have no whole bunch of money to do this thing. You really don't. We want you to have a plan and have contingency so that you're not out here. I remember when we first moved here, Tweety, I see you say I had a question earlier, and I might have missed it. If you could pop it in the chat again, that would be great. When we first moved here, I remember one of our friends talking about someone who was having financial issues and she had miscalculated or something, and was not working or trying to do a side hustle. We will never, ever, ever suggest that you put yourself in a financial situation where you can be housing or food insecure or something like that. Okay. That's not what we're talking about. But we're also talking that you do have to make a mind shift. You have to make a mind shift. If you concentrate on, I'm going to run out of money, 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 guess what you're going to do? You're going to run out of money because that's where your energy is. Instead, I'm like, money just comes. Money just flows, don't I? Yeah. I do. I mean, I still do our budget. I still make sure we're putting money aside. We're not crazy. I'm not going out and buying $1,500 purses and Gucci bags and stuff like that.
But we're not out here in fear of not having.
Thank you. Right? And so money just comes, y'all. It just comes. And yeah, we do a little something to make it happen. But I'm telling you, it's about 10% of all the hard work I was putting in at 50 to 70 hours a week, week after week after week after week. I don't know. We're going to have to save them if they're to be saved. And I think that they need to be retooled because they're too expensive, right? The melon felon is not interested because there's not going to be another election, so he doesn't have to worry about it again, right? I see you, Dennis. He's not going to have to worry about it again. So if he's still alive, I think that, you know, when we talked about on tyranny and we talked about protecting institutions, this is what this means. It means that you pick an HBCU and you rally behind them, right? I don't have $1,000 a month to give to my alma mater or $100 a month to give to my alma mater, but I might have an hour a month to send out an email to gather other people to help donate, right? We have to protect these institutions, and we cannot depend upon people who never wanted us to have this education in the first place to do it. Right? So, yeah, unfortunately, the future does not look bright. But I have hope. I have hope because here's the thing, y'all. Here's the thing. Because everything is hitting the fan, because the fit is really hitting the sham, we don't have to do baby steps. Like, had Kamala been elected like she should have, we would have just been kicking the can down the road. We would have had a 4-year reprieve and made little baby steps, and then somebody would have been pissed, and we probably would have been here in 4 years. But now that this whole thing is burning down, there is an opportunity to reimagine And I say, we don't reimagine it, but with us in mind. And then we can include others, because we've always put others first. We've always tried to include everybody else at the detriment of ourselves. And I'm not saying to be exclusionary. We don't have to exclude. We just have to center our thinking on what is best for our community. And I think that's what we need to do.
Hey, Dennis.
Let me get over here so I can pull this stuff up here. Thank you, Dennis. Again, 100% of all of our super thanks, super chat money goes to Beyond the Bling, our financial freedom program. I'm concerned about countries changing visa rules because of the US regime. You are right to be concerned. We are concerned too. We are concerned too, which is, excuse me, one of the reasons why we are fast tracking, and one of the reasons why one of the things that we are going to try to accomplish while we take this trip back to the Americas is to start looking at other options. We love Portugal. We had no intention on moving from Portugal, but things change. And 3 years from now, Portugal is not the same Portugal that we moved to even, right? Good and bad. So yeah, even SK is pissed because their engineers were arrested by ICE, South Korea.
Yeah, South Korea.
And deported while building a factory in Georgia. These people, you cannot make this stuff up. This is what's so funny. Home chick, she was full chested. I'm the one. Give me credit. I'm the one who called them in. Yes, and I'm running for Congress. I called them in because, I care about the people. I care. That stupid ass chick just probably cost Georgia $850 billion. Who knows, right? I know 8,500 jobs they were going to create.
Yeah, 300.
And now LG, another South Korean company, is saying, yeah, I know we were in talks to do X, Y, and Z, but after that little thing, I don't know. I don't know. So now it looks like she, in her little cutesy, I need my TikTok moment, might have cost Georgia another contract with LG. And they were supposed, because where's all these manufacturing jobs?
They ain't here.
Where's all these manufacturing jobs? Right? And so as Dennis says, the United States has an integrity issue now. We cannot be trusted. Well, not me. I ain't got nothing to do with it. The United States cannot be trusted. And you've seen the Vegas is empty, right? Disneyland is empty. You ain't even got to get a fast pass anymore. But a year ago, and it popped up in YouTube a year ago, we were saying, Black America, it's time to wake up. And all these people got into our comments talking about we were fear-mongering. We didn't know what we were talking about. And this is that and the other. And if he gets elected again, it's going to be okay. We survived it the first time. But those were people who really don't follow politics. And they don't understand why it's different now than it was then. But I knew. We knew. And we told y'all. And I'm so glad that most of you listened. But some of you didn't. And now y'all back here talking about how we get out as soon as possible. What we gonna do? All right, this is what we're gonna do. We are going to put a list together. First of all, in our Move Abroad toolkit and in our Ready to Retire toolkit, we have a list of the 2 databases that we use mainly to put together our research when it comes to cost of living abroad, the social situation abroad, et cetera, right? Okay. Again, what I'm telling you is that these places are safer than the United States, and they have a lower cost of living. So you want to start where visas are long and budgets are real.
Here are the popular cities in modest monthly ranges for a single person, rent plus basics.
All right. So you can see our long stay city budgets, and all of that is in the download. It's the weekly resources that we're starting to do. Okay. And so number one is, and you go ahead and download it so you can follow along, the Philippines. And we listed 1, 2, 3 cities ranging from $900 a month to $1,400 a month. That's rent and basics from $900 to $1,400 a month, y'all.
How do you pronounce that? Dumaget?
Dumaget. All right. So the Philippines, you can live in the Philippines on a visa, on a tourist visa. We're talking tourist visa, right? So so this is what you're going to do. You're going to go to an Airbnb. You're going to find an Airbnb that you like. Stay in it for a month. And then you're going to talk to the owner off the platform and say, can we just go ahead and put some paperwork together for 2 more months? Okay. And it'll be less expensive because he's not going to have to pay Airbnb. And you've already built up the trust. Okay. Number 2.
Georgia.
All right. Got 2 cities in Georgia where you can live between $800 and $1,400 a month, including in Tbilisi, the capital. All right. Georgia has beaches, y'all.
Yeah.
Georgia has beaches. So $800 to $1,400 a month, rent and basics for a single person in the country, not the state of Georgia, y'all. The country of Georgia. This next one may be a little controversial, but we're going to put it out there because we are thinking outside of the box.
Armenia.
With what is going on in the United States, we cannot get hoity-toity. We do not have the luxury of saying, oh, thank God I live in the United States. We can't say that no more, right? When we go to other places and we see stuff and we go, oh, thank God I live in the United States. No, we can't say that anymore. We cannot say that anymore. So you can live in Armenia again between $800 and $1,500 a month. We're not making this stuff up, y'all. I know it seems fantastical, but I'm going to tell you that here in Lisbon, Portugal, Rick and I, our rent plus basics, including food, at least grocery store food, is under $2,000 a month. It's under $2,000 a month. Okay. So when we say that you can live in Georgia for $800 to $1,400, or the Philippines from $900 to $1,200, etc., we're not blowing smoke up your patootie. Now, add on 10%, add on 20%. Some of these numbers might not have been affected by the tariffs yet. Right? But still, I'm sure if you are in a tier 1 or tier 2 city, and that doesn't mean how good they are, it just means how much income they generate. Mm-hmm. If you are living in a tier 1 or tier 2 city in the United States, I already know, unless you own your house outright, you paying more than this. What's the next one?
Albania.
You can go to Albania for a year. A year. I think Georgia is a year as well. It's all of that information is in the handout. Okay. I believe Georgia is a year too. A year, y'all, on a tourist visa. And you can live in Albania for what? Between
$850 to $1,100. $1,300.
Yeah. $1,300. All right. Still $1,100, $1,300. Come on, y'all. Come on. Next on our list, so we had Philippines, Georgia, Armenia, all of these places you can live for under $1,500 a month for rent and basics. Panama. We'll be in Panama in a bit, y'all. We'll be in Panama and we'll let you know what we think, because we've never been there. We've never been there. As a matter of fact, we've never been to South America. So I'm looking forward to it. You can live in Panama for what?
$1,200
to
$2,500.
So Panama is a little bit more expensive. It is on the dollar. So you won't have to worry about the conversion rate in Panama, but it is a lower cost of living. It's a lower cost of living, and this is going to help you, let that dollar spread a lot further. And then we've always got to give a bonus, and we always have to give a shout out to our other home,
Mexico.
Mexico, of course, Mexico, of course, Mexico. And the city that we're highlighting, of course, is Querétaro, because you can live in Querétaro for under $1,600 a month, even today. And even though 180-day pass is not guaranteed, it's probable that when you show up in Mexico, that they're going to give you 6 months. Okay? Not guaranteed, but probable. So we gave you 6 places, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places on a tourist visa. Sell your house, get it rented out. While you're doing that, start stacking that cash and get out of Dodge. And you can start working on your long-term visa stays, okay? If that's what you want to do. Some folks just want to
get away for a certain period of time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or just bop around indefinitely. All right. And so what you're going to do is you are going to use the information that we gave you to make sure that you are keeping in mind the conversion rates and keeping that math in mind, adding 10, as is, plus 10%, plus 20%, so that you are prepared no matter what, right? Or you're minimizing risk, if nothing else, because we don't know what the melon felon is going to do. Who knows, right? It could get out of control. Look, during the Great Recession in 2008, I know we've told you this before, but it had gotten down to like 64 to 68 cents to the euro, y'all. Okay. And so we're not exaggerating. This is something that you need to consider, but staying in America, that ain't the answer either. That is not the answer. All right. So think about what you can sell in the next 14 days. Think about what kind of side hustles you want. Can you start tutoring today and bringing in some extra cash? Start freelancing today, consulting today to bring in extra cash. All right. We do not have the luxury of that single income mentality when when we've started late, right? And we need to get out of Dodge and we need things to happen quickly, y'all. Right. We need things to happen quickly. All right. So that's what we've got for you today. Again, we have that packet of handouts that we gave you. And on that page are all of the handouts from the weeks before as well. Okay. All right. What you guys talking about? ABX Girl says there's a feeling of soft secession. Yeah.
Secession.
Soft secession. Yeah. And the US will split, right? It feels like the United States is going to turn into the EU, where there'll be like 4 or 5 states, different countries, right? That will come together for some things, but not everything. And this is all because the United States refused to deal with slavery and racism. They refused. Had they just dealt with it back in the 60s like they should have and admitted stuff and talked about it and said, we have to teach this so that we don't go back like the Germans did, maybe we wouldn't be in this position right now. Oh no, what do you think? Ignorance is expensive too.
It's very expensive.
Right? This can harm us too, especially in the South, where many do not have passports or cannot even get to a blue state. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And that's why it is important for us to start creating pathways, because we're going to have to help. We're going to have to help by creating opportunities. Right? Because we know, the federal government help, that's over. That's over. There's no more of that. There's no more of that. Tweety says, do you have any concerns about so many people moving abroad and how that can affect current pricing? People have been migrating.
Yeah, they've been doing that for a while.
Since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody says, in India, are you afraid, all the Indians going to the United States, that's going to affect pricing? People have been migrating since the beginning of time. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Okay?
And I think countries more and more, especially today, are trying to get ahead of it.
Yeah.
And trying to prepare for it better than just offering things to let people come into their country and then they can't deal with it. They can't handle it.
There's a housing crisis around the world. And the housing crisis was initially, it started being created by the Great Recession, and then we never recovered. Globally, we never recovered. And then COVID, right? Where the supply chains just broke down. So the housing crisis is global, and it's going to take a lot to get us out. The United States is not going to get out anytime soon. It's not going to get out anytime soon because they did what they did. But the rest of the world is moving on, and the rest of the world is investing in housing, and the rest of the world will not have as bad of an impact as the United States will have when it comes to people migrating into their country. They can always make it more difficult. That's what Portugal did, and so less people are migrating here. They got rid of the tax scheme that made it more attractive. They make you have a 1-year lease and a bank account and a tax ID and all of these things as if you are a resident before you even apply to see if they'll say yes. So, that's one way that they slow down the migration so that they can catch up with their services and infrastructure, Tweety. But what I've seen is that we're always in the minority. And when I say we, I mean Americans. There's just not a lot of us that leave. There's a lot of everybody else that leaves, but there's not a lot of Americans leaving now. 3, 4, 5 years from now, we might be saying something different. But right now, we are the smallest immigrant in Portugal.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest immigrant in Mexico for obvious reasons. But other than that, we're not. We don't leave. We don't leave. So, and I would not worry about the prices going up. They're never going to exceed the United States until the United States crumbles. So thank you, Ms. Wilson. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. And Big G International, both of you, thank you so much. As we said, all of the money goes to our scholarship fund for Beyond the Bling, our financial freedom course for late bloomers. Get into the program, y'all. Okay, let me hide that one. Get into the program. And we have a new member. Welcome, Jay Anderson. Welcome to Utopia. We want everyone who is listening to be in process of building their own utopia. Okay. Rick and I found our own utopia here in Portugal, and we are living our best lives. You hear my voice. I have not gotten rid of this cough because we stay out in those streets. Wednesday, we were out late. Thursday, we kind of rested. And then Friday, we went and saw our friends, did open air theater. They did Hamlet, right? These are all the fun things that we get to do here. And we don't have to worry about, somebody coming into the open air theater and shooting or any of that other kind of crazy crap, right? Don't have to worry about any of that. Okay, we answered that one.
Did that one.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you again, Gisette. Jay Anderson. Okay. All right. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Georgia's going through its own right-wing issues. Yes, they are. They are. Georgia lost its mind a long time ago, like Florida. And It makes no sense when the economic engine of Georgia is Atlanta, and they try to act like that don't exist.
Are we talking about Georgia the state or Georgia the country?
Oh, that I don't know. Are you talking about Georgia the country or Georgia? Yeah, if you're talking about Georgia the country, yes, we know. All of Europe is, all of the world is, because every single time there is economic insecurity, conservatism rises up throughout history. That's a fact, right? But it doesn't look the same as it looks in the United States for we Black Americans, right? It doesn't look the same. We're not the enemy in Georgia, the country. We're just there visiting on a tourist visa, right? We're not the enemy. And so it looks different and it will feel different. And we don't realize how much psychological bondage we're in the United States until you leave. And then when you're gone for a while and you feel like you can exhale, then you realize, damn, I was like walking around like this all the time and didn't even know it.
Yeah.
And didn't even realize it until we left. And now we can breathe. And now, even though, like, for those of you who've been watching, y'all know I gained weight, but my numbers are still good. Why are my numbers still good when I went to the doctor? Because I'm not as stressed, right? Stress is minimal and pretty much self-induced or family-induced, right? It's not coming from the Karens trying to police me. Like, I just go to, can I just be left alone? People leave you alone outside of the United States. They're not all up in your business. Well, what are you doing here? Well, where are you going? Like, they think they have grown up. White folks in America have grown up, have been raised to believe that they are our mommies and daddies. And when you hear like the old interviews from way back when, and you listen to how they talked about like the not the babysitter, what did they call them, the nanny, and all of that, it's pretty crazy the way they were talking. And nobody called them on it. Nobody called them, oh, well, it was the time. No, it wasn't a sign of the times. It was a sign of evilness. That's what it was. That's what it was. We're not going to give excuses anymore because we gave them excuses. Oh, well, it was a different time. No, they knew it was evil then, and it's evil now. And we're not going to give excuses anymore because we did, and look where it got us. Here we are, right? We ain't got no Black Wall Street. We ain't got no Rosewood. We ain't got none of it. I'm sure it's a little bit like Kamala is feeling because she didn't run that election the way she wanted to. She listened to them white folks who did not know her and don't know regular people because they're all caught up in the Beltway. And she lost an election being somebody that she wasn't. There's nothing worse, right? There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than going through life having to put on a face to meet the faces that you meet. And that's what you have to do as a Black person in America. That's what you have to do. Or we feel compelled to do anyway. Otherwise, we have to put up with even more SHIT if we don't, right? Okay, I'm marking y'all's questions. And then we're going to let you go. I know. So someone yesterday, if you're watching and you talked to me about giving you the code for the scholarship for Beyond the Bling, you said it wasn't working. Make sure you send us an email because it's working for everybody else. And so I went in to try to check. So I don't know why I just remembered that. So if you're watching, okay, Alicia, I'm going to do like you and get several visas. Yes, Panama is another one on my bucket list. I was also considering Colombia and Costa Rica. Yes, y'all. Okay, they stole us from our home countries, and I have no loyalty to a country that has consistently told me that I am no better than the bottom of their shoe. I don't. And so for us, I want to have choices. And I want to go where it feels peaceful, right? I don't need to be, my ancestors. My ancestors like, girl, go. Darlene, Ghana has been on our list a couple of times, but Ghana is a special animal. And I think that you need to be more of an adventurer to do Ghana. If you want to go to some place to have a life of ease, like if you're a Stephanie Perry disciple like I am, and you want a life of ease with the least amount of stress, Ghana is probably not the place. Ghana's probably not the place. I think, there's still a lot of nickel and diamond happening, and you need to have the energy. You need to have the energy to fight that. If you got the energy to fight that and you're good with that, because it's a lovely place. I hear the people are lovely, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But there's still some gray market stuff because they haven't had the opportunity to build up a good, strong working class, middle class, right? And so people are still hustling. That's the thing. That is the thing. We will have elections in 2026 and beyond. The question is, will they be free and fair? Well, yeah. I mean, then we don't have elections, right? Like going through like Venezuela has elections, Russia has elections, but they're not elections, right? So no, there's not going to be election in 2026. I think there's a possibility for there to be an election in 2026. Otherwise, he wouldn't be trying to gerrymander. But I think there's a strong possibility that we don't have an election in 2026 as well. I have a feeling that, cogitate. Remember when Zelensky was in the office the last time of the melon felon? I'm not going to even call it the Oval because that gold crap, I don't know what that is. Anyway, what did he say? He said, oh, wait a minute. Wait. What you say, Zelensky? You ain't had no, what did he say? You ain't had no election because you guys are at war? Oh, you can do that? He's so stupid. It's like, that's their laws. That doesn't mean that's our laws. Now, I don't know. It could be, it could not be. But as the president of the United States, you would think he would know that. Oh, that's interesting. He's planning not to have elections, y'all. That's why he's sending the National Guard everywhere. That's why he's doing that. And Tennessee's like, yeah, come on, we need you. Yeah, you just need them in Memphis to keep them black folks from voting. That we hip to the skill. Querétaro? Is that what you want me to spell? Queretaro. Querétaro. If it was pronounced in English, I guess it would be Querétaro. Querétaro. The job posted below was listed recently. I wonder what it really means. I'm not sure what job posted below, baby, you're referring to. Can reparation, huh? Do you understand that question?
Reparations, your thoughts, and investment. I'm not sure. I'm not sure
what you're asking, Kimberly. I'm sorry. Americans think America is the best thing since sliced cheese. They do. America is brilliant at marketing and propaganda. America is just a marketing machine. That's all it is. It's just this idea of a thing propped up. But once you open the door or just go like this, it's just all the cars just come tumbling down. Sorry for all the mixed metaphors, right? But yeah, it's air. It's an illusion. Would you repeat your thoughts on investing in BRICS ETFs? Oh, that's what you're saying. Okay. Yeah. So what we are doing is, and for those who are in Beyond the Bling, right, we talk about this every month, but what we are doing is we are looking at ETFs, in index funds, and companies that are either concentrated or located in the BRICS nations and or the global South. So that's what we're doing. We did a video on bricks. We've done a couple of videos on bricks. So if you're interested in, our suggestions for ETFs, because I can't remember them, y'all, our suggestions, we are not financial advisors. We're not certified financial advisors. Okay.
Nope.
We are educators. So you're going to have to do your own Googles and, and do the research on what we suggest. But if you go back to our first bricks video, there is a handout there with all of the ETFs, and we talk about there all of the ETFs that we are looking at investing that are concentrated or located in BRICS nations. So that's what we are doing. That and that and that. Okay, what do you like about Querétaro compared to the other cities in Mexico? Is that a good place to begin a scouting trip? We've never been to Querétaro.
Yes, our first time.
This will be our first time when we go for Rick's birthday. We have friends in Querétaro. So we're going off of how they like it. And we know we've traveled with them. And so we know their sensibility. And so based upon who they are and their sensibility, I know that, I know we would like it, because if they like it, we would like it. We know them well enough to know that. One of the reasons why Querétaro always shows up on the list is because it has a low cost of living and it has temperate climate, right? Mexico has everything from, 2 miles up in the air to tropical, right? And everything in between. And so Querétaro is one of those places that never gets too hot or too cold. And so that's one of the reasons why it's always on our list. And so, yeah, if it meets your criteria, then I would say definitely it's a great place to begin. But see, here's the thing, in our Move Abroad toolkit, y'all know that we have in there, you're going to write out your list of your needs for your new city and country and your wants for your new city and country. So me saying that it meets our needs and wants does not mean
it's going to meet yours.
That it meets yours, right? So with that in mind, look at your needs and wants before and do your Googles before you spend money to go there, because you might just do your Googles and say, that's not going to work for me because it's landlocked. Querétaro is landlocked. If you need water, Querétaro is not the place. I mean, you can drive to water, but if you need water on a daily basis, that's not going to be the place for you. Okay. Okay, we talked to Darlene about Ghana. And last, we've got Lewis Bailey, Senior Home Care. We see you, Ruth. How is the lifestyle living expenses in Querétaro versus Puerto Vallarta? I think it's two very different places. Yeah. Okay. Puerto Vallarta has been on people's radar for a long time. And the expat community in Puerto Vallarta is very, very, very entrenched. And it's very obvious. So that's number one. The gay community, the gay expat community have basically taken over, and this is not a bad thing, I'm just saying, not a bad thing at all. They have taken over like the El Centro, old part of Puerto Vallarta. Okay. And so Querétaro, on the other hand, the expat community is smaller. And most people had never heard of Querétaro. So Puerto Vallarta is more expensive than Querétaro.
Right.
But of course, Puerto Vallarta is a beach town.
Touristy.
It's on the beach. Yeah, there's a lot more tourists in Puerto Vallarta. You're not going to get a lot of tourists in Querétaro, not out of country tourists. You'll get probably local tourists, other Mexicans coming to vacation in Querétaro, but you're not going to get as many international travelers in Querétaro as you will in Puerto Vallarta. What else? Less white people in Querétaro. Not white Mexicans. I'm talking about people who are not righteous whiteness. The people you won't want to deal with, they're in Puerto Vallarta. So it's interesting because when we were there was two other Black expats that were waiting for their Uber at the same time we were. and they were talking to somebody else. I can't remember, that was standing there. And this person was Mexican but spoke English. And he was asking, what they thought about Puerto Vallarta and stuff like that. And they're like, look, there's just too many, there's too many Americans here. That's what they said. And so wherever they were from, they were going back, they were driving back that night to their little town outside of Puerto Vallarta that they preferred. So again, needs and wants list, needs and wants. This is our opinion. And you might go there and say, yeah, I'm digging this scene. Puerto Vallarta is great. The food is great. It's fun. The beaches are gorgeous. I like up north a little bit more. There's less of the tourists. There's less vendors on the beach up north than there is on the southern part that I found, right, when we were there, 2022.
Yeah.
So, but needs and wants. You got to write your list so that you know, and you don't operate off of emotions. Member for 4 months. Yes. Thank you, Ruth. Thank you. Do we see you in behind the scenes? Do you come hang out with us? Because I don't think I've seen you. And thank you. 100%. Yes. So 100% of the money goes to our scholarship fund for Beyond the Bling, our financial freedom program for late bloomers. And that comes with monthly group coaching, y'all. Monthly group coaching. You get to hang out with us every month, get your questions answered, and hear new information, about how to do this thing, whether it's investing, side hustle, saving money, getting out of debt. All of that, we talk about all of that in our monthly group coaching and Beyond the Bling. And so check it out. That information is in the description below. And I already know that Action VJ put it in the chat as well. I know he did. All right, y'all, we're going to let you go. The next time we see you, we won't be in Portugal.
No, we won't.
We'll be in the Americas. Hopefully it'll be okay. It'll be okay. All right. If you want to live this life, we live a good life. I just have to say, and I want to thank you. I want to thank everyone who came before. I want to thank Exodus Summit, because we would not be here if money is the thing. Money is being talked about at Exodus Summit. If you are a Black woman, I have put our link in the description below. Go ahead and sign up now, y'all. Don't wait and pay that extra price. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right. I've already got my ticket. I go every single year. Why? You say you're already living abroad. I know, but I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I don't know.
True.
So I'm going to learn, right? I'm going to take the shortcuts and I'm going to learn. And so, I just have to say, I don't know where we're going. I know some of the places we're trying to go, but we'll let you guys know as we travel. And for those who are members, if we want to do some small meetups in some of these other countries, if you're happen to be, we're looking at Colombia and Panama and Brazil and Uruguay. If you're in any of those countries, hit us up, send us an email. We would love to connect with you and perhaps interview you or just break bread and hear about your life in your country. And so, with that, you know how to find us. We can help you out. We can help you get out of Dodge. We can help you get your money straight. All right. All that information is in the description below. But y'all, do not hesitate. All right. Do not hesitate. Time is of the essence. Yes. The dollar is going down as we talk. And what is true today may not be true tomorrow. All right. So you want to get your budget together, make some decisions, get out of there. We love y'all. We'll see you on Thursday. Bye. Trying to figure this out.